Yalla BB guys, and welcome to another episode of The Gliders. This time we're going to be calling it the special episode 1. Yes, special series, because yes, you can see we're not coming to you from the studios in Ikeja. We're currently live in Fez, Morocco. And it's a different setting. You can see the setting. You can already know. I mean, I have red warmers on. There are no shirts and no suits here today. It's a special edition. We are currently at the African Cup of Nations 2025 in Morocco. We've been here for a week now. So there's been so many changes. There've been content on the pages, but we just thought that it's very nice to just come to you guys' screens again and just talk about our experience so far in just 1 week. My name is Michael Adegbile, or you guys know me as Micolo on the show, hosting for the very first time.
Exactly.
So there's
Joy and Emmanuel, they are jealous right now.
So there's no Joy, there's no Emmanuel currently in my station because there's a lot going on. They're going to be finding out during the course of the show, our journey, where we're currently at, how we split the team, and so many other things. But today I'm not going to be doing this alone. Obviously, I can't even do it alone. But yeah, we're going to be 2 on the show today. But I promise you guys that as Emmanuel will say, what we lack for in numbers, we're going to make up for it in content and experience. I have with me today Timothy Dehinbo. Timothy, how are you feeling?
Feeling nice. I mean, for a while now, I've not felt this way. I don't think I've been as this shirtless as this in recent times.
I'm surprised I'm feeling like this.
But I mean, the thing about life is adaptation, and I think that we're beginning to adapt a little, not like to the maximum, but at least we're adapting a little. And they know we're not going to be like this throughout this. We're just going to be like this for a short moment, so we just have to do what we have to do. And it's really nice to be shooting the gliders. I've not shot. We had it last week.
We didn't have last week. Last week we traveled on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we had it on Monday. Yeah, we had it last week, and then I've not shot this week, but good to be shooting right now.
Yeah, do you know I was going to put out a tweet that said that 1 minute you think you're adapting to the weather here, the next minute you're struggling for your blankets.
Exactly.
Because this evening, I thought I was already like getting an hang of the whole weather situation, and then I just woke up from sleep and I just started feeling very cold and moody. Like it was just very tiring for me. But yeah, guys, we are currently shooting in Fez. Fez, Morocco is between 6 degrees to 8 degrees currently, and then we've also heard that it can get as low as 2 or even 3 degrees in January. So I mean, when you see us stepping out with our puff jackets and all of that, don't blame us. So let's go into the nitty-gritty. We arrived in Morocco on, was it?
On the 19th.
On the 19th.
No, was it?
No,
yeah,
it was on the 20th. Yeah, on the 20th. So we got to Casablanca and then to Fez, and then so we arrived with the old gliders crew. I think only Felix is currently not in Morocco right now. There's Joy. Joy eventually came to meet up with the crew after some visa and flight issues. There's Joy, there's myself, there's Timothy, there's Emmanuel Sebastian, there's Edafi as well. Our producer Kaleja is also around, and then Jamil is also in the mix. We also have a renowned football commentator and journalist. He joined us from the UK, Emmanuel Etim. So how's it going basically for you in Morocco, Timothy?
Firstly, it's been really nice covering the Afcon for the very first time. Covering the Super Eagles for the very first time as well. I've always watched the Super Eagles.
It's a season of first.
Exactly. It's really nice. Then my first time on the flight. And
Guys, it's crazy experience.
I'm saying these stories because, of course, it's always on platforms like this that we can always say these things, and we know that people are watching it. So, very first time for me doing many things, and I'm really excited about covering the Afcon and knowing that I'm not just going to cover the Super Eagles alone. I'm covering the Super Eagles. Eventually, as we get to progress, we're going to also cover some other teams. So it's really been exciting for me, a very good experience. I've gone to do stuff that I usually would not do. Most times I usually maybe be on the analysis side of things, or maybe writing, publishing stories and all that. But this time around,
you're more outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're about to do reports, reporting from training grounds and all of those things. Maybe not so top notch at the moment, but of course.
No. I feel like you're doing amazingly well, and everybody at the first. I mean,
exactly.
This is just my own second Afcon. I also went to my first Afcon last year many of us as well. And then you just grow on the job. And it is experiences like this that actually shape you to get better,
Exactly.
going to the field, doing it on world stage like this, seeing that there are so many people doing it at the same time. I mean, this when you go to the Super Eagles training, you see people that you probably admire online. You see how much mistakes they make as well, having to have their own retakes, and then I think it just fills you with so much confidence. So because I'm coming to my second AFCON, and me, I'm also a very appreciative person, right? I try to like look back at my journey and all of that. So how's the reception like back home, like your friends, because there are people that, so for example, that on the gliders I always talk so much about my school friends, like my schoolmates from school, like my classmates, how they're always like very happy about the things I do because they watch me go from school sport and all of that to national to now international level. So what has the reception been like for you? I know I see comments sometimes, go Timothy, just so how's it like for you?
It's been nice. I'm not going to lie, especially people who are closer to me. I was speaking with one earlier and he was talking about the fact that he knows he cannot be happier than I am, but he said that he's happier than I am. So, I mean, when you follow someone and you know how much this person has put into getting into some spaces and the growth over the years, I'm still a young boy, but of course, young does not mean that I've not started for a very long time. So, it's been really nice from people. I mean, especially when I made my first post. If I've not replied you, please.
I think we have to get to that one.
If I've not replied you, please don't feel like I am ignoring you or anything. It's just the way the job has been. I know Micolo will be able to talk about that better. But when I made my first post, there were so many comments. Of course, people would always go along with success. This is success. I mean, I think you have always talked about the fact that success does not mean maybe when you have money. I mean, little things like can always count as success, and this one is also success. So I'm really grateful for every one of you has also been supportive right from the time when we have known each other, and even those that I just got to know recently. But really, back home, for some people, it's about, okay, this is something that many people knew me, that I was a crazy lover of football, especially African football, and there was this team in Nigeria as well. So seeing me now cover the people I usually loved and talked about is really exciting for these people who are back home and their family, my siblings, my friends. I mean, many people have posted, tagged me, but I've still missed. That's why I had to apologize in the first place. It's not like I'm ignoring anybody, but it's work I came to do here. It's not a holiday. It's not like I came for holiday or something. It's work, and then you can see how much we are putting on content on the platform. So really nice covering the Afcon, and thankful to every of my friends or family relatives that have also been pushing me.
All right. So before I go to like share experiences about how the Afcon has been so far, Nigeria covering the Super Eagles, for people that don't understand, tournament football, right, is very much different to league football, right? So for league football, it's probably like just weekends, right? But for tournament football is like the Olympics, right? It's like, for people that are familiar with university sports, it's like Nuga. Like there's so many things happening at the same time. You're either going out or you're coming back home. You're either working or you're reporting something. For example, there's training, there's press conferences, there's interviews. I mean, tournaments, for me, I don't sleep because we're going out in the morning to make videos. Eventually, when we're coming back, we're editing, we're posting. The next day, we're supposed to go out as well. So if it's not replying your messages, if I'm not replying your messages, I feel like people should already start getting used to that by now. It's tournament, so basically it's always like round the clock. So as you guys are catching up, I know even you guys are struggling to like catch up with the football, watching football every time. So now imagine what it is like for we that were out here and covering it. You have to work, you have to write. Timothy writes, he reports, creates content and all of those stuff. But yeah, it's been really great. It's great to also see the reception. I also got, even though it's my second time, my third continental experience, there are still so many people that are just very gassed. I just received so many lovely messages. I feel like I'm very emotional when it comes to like certain things. I'm very appreciative of my journey because I know where I started from, know where I got stuff from. So I knew how hard it was to like get here, how long it has taken to get here. So I don't
Take it for
I don't
granted.
take it for granted. It doesn't come like, oh, it's already normal. It's still not normal to me. So for every time you see me like just thank God and all of that, I mean it's coming from a place of gratitude. So now let's go to another part of your experience, right? So because I remember last year Afcon, when I got to my first Afcon and we had our first media party, I remember how, would I say, starstruck I was. Yes, especially because of the fact that, you know, many people know that my favorite player is Alex.
Okay.
So first training session up close, you know, I've covered the Super Eagles before, so it wasn't really that special in up close, right? But when you now go to the media party, like we had a media party in Abidjan last year, and then I got to like interview Alex and also like take a picture. And I remember my caption then, like, if you guys see a video eventually in future of how I was very excited, don't blame me. So of all the Super Eagles players, you know, there are 28 in camp, right? Yeah. Who were you most excited to see?
Straight up, Lookman. I am a big fan of Lookman,
And you
and
got to
I'm
interview him.
yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm also a supportive.
Hey,
I'm also
that's crazy. That's very, very deep. The fact that like you go to like interview him.
I'm also very supportive of Alex Iwobi. So Lookman, then Alex Iwobi.
Yeah.
So when we got to first training, and then okay, we knew that we are going to do an interview. So as I stood,
So that target.
my first target actually was Alex Iwobi,
Okay.
but Alex Iwobi was walking towards someone else. So immediately I saw Lookman coming,
You grab him.
and then we had the interview. And I don't know, I think it was you that took the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you that took the pictures, and the pictures really came out very nice. The way I stood, the aura,
You say, alright.
everything was really nice. So speaking with Ademola Lookman, I mean, this is a big player. This is someone who is the who was the CAF African Player of the Year last year. This year is okay. Hakimi.
Hakimi,
He just released the
the
award
betting,
just a few weeks ago, so it's not like it's been long. This is someone who has won the UEFA Europa League, played on the big stages, played on the Champions League nights, scored so many goals. This is someone that when he scores in Italy, they chant his name, Ademola Lookman, and then this is someone who I've always supported online. Okay, Ademola Bobomi, one thing. Then I'm getting to speak with him, and it was really cool. I mean, I think I need to go and crop out my video where we were shaking each other and the parts where we were like, okay, thank you, and he was smiling. I mean, you know, when you don't see people from close, you can feel like, okay, this one is proud and all that. Even people that, okay, you have talked, people that will say, okay, this player is proud and one thing. I mean, seeing some of them and the way they do, it's just, okay, the fact that, I mean, you cannot always be lousy. You cannot always be the lousy one. Some people will always be reserved and all that. So speaking with him, talking to him, also shaking hands was really exciting for me. Someone who I really like so much, Ademola Lookman, has been one exciting player I've followed in recent years. So it was nice to speak to Ademola.
All right, so
I have a question, though, but
yeah, go on.
okay, I just wanted to ask. I don't know if you're going to still come there, so I don't want you to skip it. I just wanted to ask what it feels like. Of course, this is not your first Afcon, but what's that feeling like when you covered the first Afcon last year and then you're covering another one, and before you know it, it begins to become the third one, fourth one, then fifth one, something like that. What does it feel like covering your second Afcon?
It's just very exciting and fulfilling, to be honest, right? Because I mean, it's like dream come true. So for people that saw my status on the first match day, I feel like this is what dreams are made of. Sometimes I still look at myself and just like pinch myself, look at my status and say, oh, guy, you're covering like 2 Afcons. You've covered a WAFCON. You know, last year when I went to Abidjan, I made a travel vlog. So in the beginning of my travel vlog, I had a video from 2019 Afcon, right, where I was on radio as in LAC student year 4. In my final year, I was talking about the Afcon, how people should like go out and support Nigeria in the group stages, and then like years later, I'm going to the Afcon to like cover it. So it's really like I don't know how to get used to it yet. I don't know how people like Puja, maybe the likes of Modo, 4 Afcons, 3 Afcons, how they do it. But when I now sit back and look at myself, I'm like, bro, I'm already like getting there too. Like 3 continental experiences is not a joke as well. So today I was looking at myself that I know I'm a very like humble person. I like to be like very down to earth. But sometimes I just feel like, am I taking some of these things for granted? Like, am I because I was watching a Sporting Lagos game, and I'm just like, sometimes when I go to these games and people just like say I and all of that, to me, I still feel like it's just me, right? I still
Yeah,
feel like that Unilag boy,
I understand it.
all of that. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get
But
what
for
you're saying.
them, I
You're
think
seeing the superstar.
yeah, they see me as, oh, this guy has gone to like 3 Afcons, because I was watching the game. I think it was Femi Pereira's TikTok. So I was watching Sporting. I'm like, next year I'm back to like watching Sporting. I'm shouting everywhere, and then are people looking at me like,
And this guy
who's
will
this
see
guy?
for,
Do you
yeah.
understand? So it's like it doesn't really get. I saw somebody was on my Instagram. This is somebody that I really respected in school as well, was telling me that, oh bro, you inspire me, so how far you've come. And in my head I'm like what's going on? So basically I don't know if you get used to it. I don't know if I'm going to get used to it, but it's just very exciting for me. It's just very plus because I'm not also a very loud person, I sometimes don't know how to like bring like the big boy side
Yeah, I
of it and
understand.
just be braggadocious about it. But inside of me, I'm just like very thankful,
Thankful.
like
That's the
just
same
very
thing for
thankful.
me.
I'm just like very grateful about the fact that my skills can take me to these places. I feel like my creativity just comes very natural, and it is that part of me that like I'm happy that it can pave the way for me. You understand? So when I started sports, I didn't know I was gonna make football, make a living out of sports. I just liked sports, right? So to now see that I'm traveling because of sport and my skills is like very, very exciting. Yeah, let's go away from personal experiences. Let's go to Afcon proper. Let's go to Morocco Afcon 2025, right? First, let's talk about the turnouts, right? Let's talk about the organization first. Okay, I know this is like your first Afcon, so there's nothing to like compare or contrast with. But what do you think about the organization of Morocco, the reception, the branding? Because, bro, guys, it's like so. From the moment you are stepping into the airport, there's like branding everywhere. There's arrival. The people are nice. What do you think of Morocco as a nation and Morocco as a host country?
Firstly, Morocco as a nation, from personal experience, I feel like a lot of people are nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, even though there's that language barrier part in it, but they still try to
Guys, have struggled.
they still try to communicate in a way that, okay, they try to help you. I mean, you could be trying to find a solution, and then I remember, was it this first or second day when me and Edafe were trying to locate an ATM, and then there was this old man who was trying to direct us to where we were going to find it, and in his facial expression, you could sense how much it was painful. It was painful that he could not communicate. He could not communicate in the way that we were going to understand where we were going to. Our driver, Labi, who drives us around. I mean, you see how much he has been very helpful to you. Go to the market together. I mean, not naturally as a driver, my own is take you to the market, do your stuff, and come back into the car and let me drive you. I mean, it takes you to the market. It also helps you negotiate and do all of those things together. So Morocco as a people, I feel they are nice people, and then any misconception or misconstrued thoughts that people or you may also have heard about Morocco, I feel like it's something that you need to take up, and it's one thing I don't like with humans as well. And you see people, okay, from personal experience elsewhere, even in Nigeria, you see people say, oh, Omo Agoni, Omo Ijebuni, they are this kind of people, Omo Ondoni, they are this kind of people, and all of those things, which in natural sense, it's just what you or maybe your parents
passing their experiences and dumping their trauma on you.
Exactly. So it's not like that with Moroccans. They're very nice people. They're exciting people. They can also be fun to play with. And I've also sensed, maybe not, let me not say Morocco because we're still in Fez. I've also sensed that, okay, a lot of Moroccans, they love Nigerians. They love Nigeria. Immediately you mentioned Nigeria.
No, I mean, if Fez as an outskirts can be like this when it comes to, because Fez, guys, is an outskirts, is like a former glory city, was a former capital. I think it was the first capital. There's a town here that is 1,200 years old. That's Labi showed us the other day. So this is more like an outskirts, old city, old money kind of thing. So I feel like if the people of Fez can be this in love with Nigeria. When Casablanca, I was in Casablanca myself and two of our crew were in Casablanca in July, and they really love Nigerians.
Exactly. So, like I was saying, the love from them is really nice. They try to help. And when you mention Nigeria, like, okay, you're here and you're in Nigeria, they mention either Kanu or JJ Okocha. I mean, whenever I pass down this our street, whenever this man I think he stays around this neighborhood as well. Whenever he passes, he keeps shouting JJ Okocha. I mean, and that's how much of Moroccans. I think it's something with our history. In the past, we have had players who have been very, they're legendary players in terms of football in Africa. So I think that history has built over the years, and then these Moroccans have seen that, okay, Nigeria is that place where, okay, football lives, even though personally, indoor ourselves, we know the kind of problems we are facing with our football and our sports. But for them, they've really enjoyed it, and they really like Nigeria. Generally, for Afcon so far, like you were saying earlier, when we stepped into the airport, I mean, the first thing I saw was African Cup of Nations, everything. At the airport, you saw fan guide. Is it fan guide in French, in English, in Arabic, and everything that will help you as a fan coming in.
They had that big ball as soon as we came into the hall.
Exactly, and then when we kept moving, I thought, okay, it was going to stop, but you could see it everywhere, from one side section of the airport to another. Even if you go to stores, you kind of see them.
Everybody's like preparing to receive.
Exactly. So the Afcon for them has been really nice, and if you know how much efforts the Moroccan FA will put into covering, hosting this Afcon, you can now understand how much of effort they put into putting the Afcon into your faces.
Yeah, definitely, because they are putting it in our faces. I mean, even the people are very aware of the fact that there are people coming in, so they're always very receptive. I mean, whenever Labi drives us around and he just tells them that we're from Nigeria, we're here for the African Cup of Nations, like the Coupe d'Afrique. They are just very excited. We go to the markets, and then he tells them that, oh, these guys are like Nigerian journalists and they are here, so this, and then everybody's just like, oh, Nigeria, and it's always just fun. Like there's this love that sports bring together. It transcends language, transcends tribe. I mean, you could yesterday. Oh, you didn't come with us. So yesterday we were going to the market to buy meat. Myself, Edafe, Jamil, and Emmanuel were going to get meat from the market. So somebody had like directed us somewhere, and then we passed by a school. Right, we passed by a school, and Edafe had his Nigerian jersey on, and then immediately the kids, sorry, they were not really kids, they were like maybe like 14, 15, 16 teens. Yes, they just closed, so they came downstairs. The whole place erupted. Right? The whole place erupted. I think I'm going to impute the clip. I have a clip of that on my phone. I'll impute it into this edit to show you guys what I'm talking about. So they start mobbing it. I feel like, Nigeria, Osimhen. Before you knew, Emmanuel also forgot that he wore a Nigerian shirt under his own cardigan. So as he pulled up his cardigan, they came to him and we just felt like mini superstars for like some miles. Like he just kept following us until they all parted ways, and it was really just very nice. So they are really very welcoming people. Morocco as a country, very calm. I mean, they are very nice people. They're always willing to help. They don't cheat you. I mean, there's so many times that Labia has returned money to us if they got something for less. I know our producer went to repair a laptop. They had charged him they charged him 700 dirhams, and he had paid, right? And eventually, when the technician guy losing the stuff and saw that it wasn't what they initially bargained for, they repaired the laptop, sent it through Labi, our driver, to bring it back, and they gave him the extra change, which is 200. So they're always very, very helpful. And you know, there are also like some gestures that you just see that this person is not trying to rip me off.
Exactly.
You know, Labi trying to explain is, if he tells me, if we go, it takes us to like 4 different places. When we come back and we say how much is our fare, he just takes his time out to like explain the fare for you and just say, I take only this, and it's just really very nice. So away from Morocco now, Moroccans, let's talk about the footballing side of things, and let's start with the Super Eagles. You know, first game against Tanzania, 2-1, courtesy of Semi Ajayi's header and that strike by Ademola Lookman, both assists provided by Alex Iwobi. So let's talk about the Nigerian national team camp feeling. The camp feeling, basically. What do you see in the guys, right? You know, there's been like a couple of changes in the squad. You know, before now we used to have the leader Truste Kong. Now is Wilfred Ndidi. You know, Ahmed Musa in the squad. I think those are the missing faces, maybe the likes of maybe Victor Boniface. Victor Boniface didn't come to the last Afcon. He was injured. So basically, I think those are just like the major changes. But there's been like lots of new boys. in camp. What's the camaraderie like in camp? What's the feeling that you're getting from the training sessions that we've been to?
Firstly, starting off with the new captain, Wilfred Ndidi. In life, it's one thing we've talked about. Adaptability is something you learn. You cannot always have it the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
If you know Wilfred Ndidi very well, it's someone that avoids the media. But of course, yeah, this is not shading or anything. Wilfred Ndidi avoids the media a lot, and then now becoming the captain, you know that you always have to be in the faces of everyone. And for the first press conference he had, was the one that spoke to the press, and the next press conference that would also come is the one that was also being the press. And
responsibility.
Yeah, every time he always has to. If anything happens in camp, he's the one that takes the question to himself and speak in place of the boy. So that's one thing I've really liked him, and I've liked that he has
also put himself also in training, directs the boys on what to do.
Exactly.
We're speaking to the media now. We're coming back together now.
Exactly. That's been really top notch from him. So he has put himself into that role and is really delivering. In terms of cap feeling generally, as an overview, I feel like they are really excited. Although there's that place of disappointment personally for them. And I tell people this, as much as I asked Ademola this question. I said, how does it feel not going to the World Cup? And he talked about the fact that as much as we ourselves are disappointed, it's not as if they themselves are happy about it. So the disappointment starts with themselves. Even Eric Chell said it at his first press conference that the disappointment, do they think he's happy about the fact that we did not qualify for the World Cup. So the disappointment starts from themselves within, and that's why I'm saying, as much as we want to be annoying, be angry, we can always forgive and move on, because themselves, they're not happy about it, and then this is another place to probably correct the wrongs, and they've started on a good note, winning against Tanzania. So the camp feeling has been nice. Nobody's bothered about the fact that we did not qualify for the World Cup. Everyone is focused about the Afcon at the moment. Alex was speaking the other day and said that the Afcon is what they're focusing on, and then they want to get the job done. So the World Cup is a different thing entirely, just like playing the Champions League. If you miss out on the Champions League, if there's a league for you to win, you go back to the league.
Focus on what is in front of you.
Exactly. If there's a Carabao Cup for you to win, you go ahead to go and win it. So it's just the same way for them at this moment in time. They've lost out on the bigger stage, but another big stage, the bigger stage in Africa. They're right here and they're doing well for themselves.
This is the biggest stage in Africa.
Yeah. So they're really excited about it, and then I feel like they're bonding well. Acceptance of the new boys. You don't see
I was going to speak about that.
Yeah, you don't see the place of maybe the new boys feeling segregated or
just hanging out with themselves.
Exactly. Maybe we should just let's try to form our own clique. Maybe, but I mean they've taken each other together, and then it's been nice how much they've bonded together.
Okay, so let's talk about the win against Tanzania. 2-1. It was a pretty good game, except for spells where the Tanzanians dominated towards the ending of the first half, and then also beginning of the second half when they scored their goal, which was it a mistake? Was it a miscommunication? We never can tell. But I think it was a pretty fair game from the Super Eagles. Managed the game well, responded well as well. What's the general overview of the game, right? Because there's been so many differing opinions. We spoke about it earlier, how people have said that we were dominated and then you couldn't see it from your own point of view. I've also seen comments online that say, we managed the game properly. After going 2-1 up, we just kept our cool and managed the game defensively. What's your own overview of how the game went against Tanzania?
I may hate someone, I may not like someone, I may not like your philosophy, I may not like your approach to games, but whenever you deliver on the job, I need to give you thumbs up. I may not like everything about your personal, but you have done well for yourself, and that was the case for Eric Chell. Before the game against Tanzania, I asked him a question. Many people would have seen it online. There was no intention.
Guys, Timothy has scattered Morocco.
I've had a few people ask me that why did I? There was no intention to attack him. In fact, when I asked him the question, I did not know that a follow-up was going to come. But it was his response that brought about a follow-up question. So I felt that if we continue to play this well if we continue to play this badly. In this kind of tournament, it may haunt us. And I asked him the question. Going into the game against Tanzania, Nigeria were super, to be very honest. I kind of find it hard to understand why someone goes to say that Nigeria did not play well or Tanzania were the better side. I do not see how Tanzania were the better side. I could count how many touches Tanzania had in our box. I mean, I'm not sure Nwabali had one save that was okay, very, very, we'll say, okay, every ball he caught was something that, okay, a goalkeeper should always cap themselves. So, Nigeria were very good. The first half started on a very good note. I mean, as early as the first minutes, Nigeria had a chance where Ademola Lookman on the transition played the ball to Victor Osimhen. I remember all these things perfectly because I was working, writing, typing and all of those things. Ademola had the transition pass that found Osimhen, but Osimhen could not play the ball into the net. Another one got to Akwa Adams. Akwa Adams tried to run the goalkeeper ball. He played the ball and it was saved. Another one also got to Akwa Adams in the 11th minute. A corner, I think it was off Alex Iwobi, and it hit the crossbar. And then we kept pushing. A chance also fell to the Tanzanians. They played the ball, and then Stanley Nwabali caught the ball. But eventually, from I think it was the 36th minute, Nigeria's goal came where Ademola and Chukwueze linked up in a corner kick, and then they found Alex Iwobi who crossed the ball. Then Semi Ajayi found the ball into the back of the net. Nigeria were really dominant, and winning the game was something that not winning the game on a high margin should be the disappointment for me, and because I felt like we should have been maybe 4 or 5 goals up, but the win was
because of the chances that we created.
Yeah, exactly. We were so decent on the ninth. I mean, we were not creating. There's what you call half chances, and there's what you call top quality chances. We saw the one that Victor Osimhen rounded the goalkeeper and he was playing the ball into the net before the defender of Tanzania also made a clear line on the line clearance. So I mean, we were really decent on the night, but of course, like you said earlier, in football there will always be moments for the opponents. As much as you may be dominant, possession 90-10, there will always be that moment for the opponent.
Where they also, I mean, they're professional footballers as well.
Exactly, so, and that's one thing that the Tanzanians had, and the only place I fault is we were susceptible to back post crosses, and I don't know what was wrong. If you remember, Joy asked in the press conference, was asking the coach why, okay, our fullbacks, why. I mean, the goal we considered, it was something that was avoidable. Zaidu was on alone, and your man run past you, and then the next thing you were using offside.
And it was pointing to somebody as well.
It was your man, just follow him, and then that would not have happened. So that aside, and then a few chances that Tanzania had, I don't think that Super Eagles did not play well. The only issue I had with Chell in the game was sometimes Fisaya would say something. It looks like he writes his substitutions
already.
Like,
he has them noted.
So
like in game.
I mean, it's not supposed to be like that. You need to study the game. Chukwueze was very good on the night. I mean, when I say very good, it was super. You might have a different opinion. I don't know, but Chukwueze I saw on that day was really good. Bar maybe a few missed crosses and all that. But in terms of dropping deep, link up play with Alex. I mean, he and Alex were really crucial in midfield on the day. I don't even need to talk about how much Alex Iwobi gave a 5-star performance.
We're going to talk about it.
Exactly.
Definitely will.
Exactly. So Chukwueze was really nice, and I don't know why he had to take him off in 58 minutes. And I don't think there was any injury, because in recovery session in training, he was training well, and there was nothing that looked like, oh, maybe he was injured. So aside all of those things, the win was very important, and maybe putting players in wrong positions, like why are you putting Fisaya or Dele Bashiru on the right side of midfield, someone who is supposed to be at the core center of midfield. So really good game. They were very decent. On to the next one, and hopefully we can get to win the next one.
Great win, but let's also talk about the tactical setup of Eric Chell, as well as the personalities that, the personnel that he fielded. I think towards the playoffs starting off, before it used to be Tolu Arokudare that was a perfect Robin to Victor Osimhen's Batman, but now we have seemed to have found Akwa Adams. Do you think that that starting 11 that we fielded on Tuesday was our best?
Yes, it was our best, and looking at the way in terms of setup, which we already know that Chell would always want to play a 4-4-2 diamond formation. I feel like that was our best starters. In defense, Zaidu, one of the fastest players, if not even the fastest players in the Super Eagles at the moment, playing in left fullback. On the right-hand side, we had Bright Osai Samuel. So those ones were really already there. And for Semi Ajayi and Calvin Bassey, I mean, there's no
doubt about that. They were the perfect pairing, even at the last Afcon, but Trustekong was just
in
because
between
we had
the
three at the back.
Yeah. So no argument regarding that. In midfield, you expect with friend Didi. He may not have the legs anymore. He may always into the game. That's where in-game management come in. Need support or need a few tweak. But Ndidi is the captain. Not even because of him being the captain. We have seen our captains being bent in recent times. The likes of Ekong, the likes of Ahmed Musa. So it's not because of captain privilege.
Just that's like it's an engine room.
Exactly. And you could see how much duels he was winning. He was commanding. There's that place of commanding everything that was happening. There's this thing that Van Dijk does that I like about Van Dijk, even though I don't like him as a player. But there's that place where you try to make your player know that you're not falling into the right position. Yeah. You're not falling. You're not making the right.
You're seeing the position. You are seeing the field in front of you, so
exactly.
You know where each man should be.
Exactly. So he did that a lot of. He did that a lot on the night, and even he himself as a player was winning the tackles. And then on the right side of midfield. There was Chukwueze, and on the left side of midfield there was Alex Iwobi. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but I saw
Alex had bro. It was phenomenal on the night.
Like, I mean, in my article I wrote, I said 5-star performance. I mean, this is a performance that you see and you know that this is. I can't think. You know, Nigerians always.
I was watching his vlog. I was watching Alex's vlog, and after the game, Akwa Adams walked up to him in the dressing room. I was like, "Man of the match performance, bro." So everybody saw it.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes I don't know why CAF at the Afcon. So I had issues.
Yeah,
there's some games where
I think we're just in the era of stats a lot, right?
Even if it starts, what did Semi Ajayi do that? Okay, I'm not saying Semi Ajayi was bad on the night, but I mean, how do you give a man of the match to someone everybody sees this thing, even your teammates can see it, and then you are giving it to someone else?
I wonder. I mean, Alex should have won that. We are going to talk about Alex's influence because while I was pitch side. Right, I eventually watched the game again and also saw a compilation of Alex Iwobi's inputs yesterday.
I think I need to ask you a question, maybe towards the end.
Alex Iwobi's inputs and all of that. So I eventually saw all of those kind of things from the view that people saw it. But even when I was pitch side, I could see how involved he was, especially in the first half and then eventually in the second half. His build up, he wanted the ball. He was getting the ball. He was doing the build-up himself and Chukwueze. And when I saw that he got the assist for the first goal, I was just very excited about it, in the pitch side. And how important is... Because people tend to forget his input a lot of times, right? Progressively, defensively not so much, right?
He still does his bits, even defensively.
But when it comes to build-up play, I feel a lot of meaningful chances that Super Eagles get comes from Alex Iwobi.
Yes, and you're right about that. And I think you have mentioned one time talking about the fact that some games, because you don't just play in Fulham, you're playing in week out, and then maybe just on a few days you're not delivering up to maybe let me say 70% or 80%. It's just a few times, you play 50% and all that.
Yeah.
And then you now come to the Super Eagles camp, or you play in this thing and you're playing badly. And I think you have mentioned it one time that sometimes maybe these pitches where we play in Africa can be a factor. Yeah. And we saw it with Morocco. Morocco you people have watched the games, even we have watched the games, we see how much their pitches are and they're natural.
Don't go there. So when it comes to pitches,
I mean,
our training center, the training center where the Super Eagles play, Sergeant Complex, where they train is different. Then there's 4 other pitches
on that training center alone.
We're not talking about stadiums. We're talking about training center with better pitches than what we use as normal stadiums in Nigeria.
So all of these things we have talked about the fact that sometimes can be a factor to passing the ball. There's a way as a player. The way Fabregas wants to pass the ball is different from the way Xabi Alonso wants to pass the ball.
Yep.
The way Bruno Fernandes wants to pass the ball is different from the way Kevin De Bruyne wants to pass the ball.
Cruz.
Yeah, so you have your own technique of passing the ball. And if this is how you train, majority of the times, this way you pass the ball, this way you pass the ball that way. Yeah. And then when you now come to some pitches, you try to do those passes and they are not connecting. Then people now have...
goes bumpy.
Then people now
because
have,
some of those balls that Alex Iwobi sends into the final third, he keeps them on the floor.
Exactly.
Because you want to
line breaking passes.
You want to give a line breaking pass that they are able to turn over quickly and do something with. It's not everybody that's going to play a Bruno Fernandes over the link or Paul Pogba. You are trying to switch the play. That is not Alex Iwobi's style. His style is to get the ball at the foot, try to build up. So the field definitely affects his style of play, but people do not want to understand that. And I've always said it. I think the fact that he's JJ Okocha's nephew is one of his biggest undoing, because if it wasn't compared to the radar of what JJ Okocha achieved or his style of play, right? I feel like Alex Iwobi will be known as a legend right now. Will be on some Bruno Fernandes level, except the fact that he doesn't score though so much often. But yeah, I feel like he's a very integral part of the Super Eagles. So now let's move to the next game. First game done, 3 points in the bag. You want to continue in a very good form, and now we face Tunisia, right? Tunisia are, even before now, right? Even before 2021, Tunisia are those guys that you fear even when I was growing up. North Africans, I used to like fear them a lot when we play against them, because there's just this aggressiveness that comes with them playing. And when I was growing up, we had the rivalry with the likes of Cameroon, we had the rivalry with the likes of Ghana. It was always going to be a very tough game. Ivory Coast, the likes of DJ Drogba, Yaya Toure and co. But Tunisia were those kind of teams that you just complain about a lot, because those days North African teams used to like just try to bully us a lot. So now we've now come to the part that we now have a recent history with the fact that we had a very impeccable 3-game group stage in 2019. Was it 2021? 2021. 2021, we get to the round of 16. Alex Iwobi gets a red card. They shoot the ball from outside the box. It beats Maduka Okoye, and we're out of the tournament. Tunisia on Saturday.
Tunisia on Saturday, of course, is going to be a difficult one. You've said everything that needs to be said about Tunisia. Tunisia are that team that maybe when you're looking at players, that African players that play across Europe, or African players that even play across Africa themselves, you may not be able to pick 2 or 3 names that you say, okay, they have 1 year. Okay, let's go to Algeria, there is Riyad Mahrez and all that. Tunisia do not have those names when we call all of these players. But there's one thing they would always do. They will always make it difficult for you. They'll try their best to outrun you. They'll try their best to outplay you. They'll try their best to always hurt you. And that's one thing that Nigeria would face again on Saturday. I don't want the boys to go with the mindset of revenge. I know a couple of players, the likes of Alex Iwobi, the likes of, I think, Samuel Chukwueze, and all of those players would be looking at, okay, I mean, these boys hurt us a few years back. I don't know if Francis Zoho was in that team. I can't remember right now, but a couple of players in this team.
I think it was.
A couple of players.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Was the backup to Maduka Okoye then. So a couple of players were in that team. Wilfred Ndidi, I think, was also in the team. So a couple of players were in that team, and then revenge. I mean, it's normal. Even when I was coaching in school, because I coached my departmental team, faculty team. If I lose against a team and then I'm facing this team in another team, there's always that problem.
Different level of preparation.
We need to win these boys, or they don't feel beat us again. And then if they beat you again, you feel disappointed. So I don't want the boys to go in with that mindset of revenge. What I want them to go with into the game is, we want to win this game. We want to win as many as possible games we can. And I want them to see, as a case, we want to redeem ourselves, because people are angry. We know that people are angry and Nigeria will still watch the game, but I mean, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you get back to that position of trying to hurt people. So as much as disappointment can still happen, don't let it come this early. Let it come, even if it's going to come, which I'm not praying for, hoping for.
It should not come at all.
Exactly. So I don't want them to go into that game feeling like, okay, we want to revenge. Of course, revenge will be on your mind, but the main focus is we want to win, play your football the very good way, convert chances. And that was one thing that we did not do well against Tanzania. That's why I said I was disappointed. And I'll fault Victor Osimhen on this one. I'm not going to rule him out. When you play very well, we praise you. When you carry the team,
I mean, it's the face of the team when we win.
Exactly. When we win, we praise you. And on the night, I noted about 4 good chances
That
where Osimhen could have scored. And okay, we know that one was when the defender made a goal line clearance, but there was about 2 line breaking passes from Lookman, one from
Iwobi.
2 from Alex Iwobi as well, and then everything you were fluffing your lines. Even the goal that led to our second goal, I saw him making the run into good channel, but I felt Lookman was going to give him the ball, but Lookman decided to shoot, and then that gave us the goal. So Victor Osimhen and the other players, not just Victor Osimhen, I feel like we need to be clinical enough.
In final third, yeah.
I mean, this one will be tougher. No disrespect to Tanzania, but Tanzania is no match with Tunisia, and so we are playing a bigger team, and then this is the biggest team in the group. If
and they can hurt you. They always, North African teams are very technical.
Exactly.
Yeah, very technical.
So
teams.
if we win this one, we can now be saying that, okay, let's go and prepare. What we can be saying, we're already saying that let's go and prepare for the round of 16. So we want to win this game, and then not saying feel relaxed, but if we win this game, I think Uganda are the least best team in this group, and then if you win this game, it gives the coach the opportunity in the next to test players, the likes of Cyril Dessers and every other player that needs to be tested ahead of the later stages, because in the later stages you will need some of these boys to play when it gets thick and when it also gets tough. So if you can win this game, the last game, which I do not want to say is formality, will be something that will give you an opportunity to test other players. So no brainer. Winning against Tunisia is something that is very crucial for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and I really hope that they will do that.
So before we leave the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Tunisia part, let's talk about Victor Osimhen a little bit. I've seen criticisms online. I've seen banter names.
Nigerians are crazy.
It's a lot. I mean, but guys, that's still our best player, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Like he's still one of our most feared players. His presence on the pitch even brings a lot of...
Even on the night when he was not playing, where you saw Moroccans chanting Victor Osimhen.
It's always going to be so. It was like that in Abidjan as well, even though he even scored so much last year in Abidjan. I think he scored just one.
Yeah, he scored one and he had a couple of assists.
Yeah, basically. So, but I want to... I think this one is a very touchy subject about the complaints on the field of play. So, as somebody that knows the psychology of what big players go through, and now they feel like, oh, they are the face of the team. They have to, take on the pressure. Everybody plays for me, and give me the ball. I can get you guys to score. What do you make of Victor Osimhen's constant claim, or would I say complaints now? Because I saw it at pitch side, and I know a lot of people saw it as well. And I've read, I didn't see that at pitch side, but I've also read on Twitter where it says some of these passes that he's asking for sometimes is offside. And all of that. What do you think how do you think that affects the dynamic of the team? Him constantly wanting the ball, constantly complaining. I mean, I know I've seen strikers. Strikers always want the ball, right? The likes of Kane, the likes of Alan, you want to feed them so they can get you the goals. But I don't know if they throw this kind of tantrums when they don't get the ball.
Firstly, I feel like Osimhen is under pressure. And when I say under pressure, it's not like maybe wanting to have money, wanting to get to the highest level of football as a player in club side. Everybody knows Osimhen.
He's already done that. He's been there, done that. I mean, won the league with Napoli, won the league as highest goal scorer in two leagues. Yeah.
Got to the 8th position at the Ballon d'Or. So
he's done
that's not his problem. But one thing I feel that makes him under pressure at the moment is the fact that as much as we can always boast of having a Victor Osimhen, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, if you look at when Osimhen has been in this team, we have really not had anything that will say that, okay, we have achieved this, even if it's qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah. He has missed 2 World Cups now.
We have not won the Afcon when he's gotten into the team. Yeah. So there's that place of pressure for him that, okay, I don't want to be that guy that, okay, everybody praises Victor Osimhen, the great striker, but what did he do with the Super Eagles? When conversation begins to happen, he would beat this goal record. He needs just 6 goals to beat this goal record. Beating this goal record is not something that is an issue for him. But when you say, okay, I'm the top scorer of my national team, and I won the 2023 African Cup of 2025 African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
I qualified my team for the World Cup. I did this
Yeah,
and
the
that.
way Haaland is currently doing,
Exactly
dragging Norway
to the World
to the
Cup.
World Cup.
I mean, Norway have not gone
Very
for the
little.
World Cup in a very long time,
Yeah.
and then you have an Haaland that has pushed you into that position. So that's one thing that makes him under pressure. That said, I think that he would have to kind of take it down a little. I saw him and Coach Erichel having a conversation when he took him off in the 85th minute. I don't know what the conversation was about, but it was asked at the press conference, and Chel said he decides that he's going to keep it personal between themselves. So maybe Chel was talking to him about some of those things
Attitude,
that
yeah.
happened, because I mean, you don't want your teammates to feel less of themselves. You don't want your teammates to feel less of,
Yeah,
okay,
because as early as 10th minutes, he was already screaming at Akwa Adams. I mean, and I was pictured like,
and that's even someone who is a debutant. I mean,
Yeah.
as a debutant, I wrote in my article when I was analyzing the game against Tanzania, I said that for debutants, there's really not much pressure on you. As much as there may be pressure on you, but there's really not much pressure on you to deliver. And for Adams, I think he had a decent debut. Maybe he could have scored a couple of goals. Like I said, in the 11th minute, he was unlucky. He hit the crossbar. And when the corner came off Alexi Iwobi and all of those things. But as a debutant, you want to take it easy on them. You want him to, although he's a professional footballer, it's not like you're massaging a baby or something, but you still have to let him know that, okay, you're accepted here and you can also score the goal. So try to take it easy. Let the players that you are playing with, let them feel like, okay, we can do well for ourselves. And I think this was one of the reasons why so many people did not like the fact that if it was going to be handed the captaincy adband when Chus retired. So this is some of the reasons why people did not want him to be captain, and you're beginning to see it. So Victor Osimhen, top player, of course, he would always put in all his energy, he would always fighting for balls, he's always going to make runs, he's always going to trouble defenders. We saw it on the 9th, even though he missed a couple of chances. But I feel like doing all of these things have to reduce. They have to reduce. Imagine one of these new players, Ebenezer Akinsomiru, on the ball. Then his first pass, he probably doesn't give it to Osimhen, or his misplaced pass, and then he gets that reaction from Osimhen.
Yeah.
You have already spoiled,
yeah.
you have already destroyed his confidence in the team just by doing that, because
you're a big figure, yeah.
He's the biggest figure in that
figure,
team for someone like Ebenezer, for someone like which of these other players, Tochukwu and all of those things. So if you do that and you damage their confidence, you are not helping them, and then you as a player, you already made, you do not help the other players to grow. So I think all of these things have to reduce and see that, okay, carry the team along, talk to them, know when to do these things. Some of these things sometimes are needed, but you don't do it every time, because I mean, sometimes players can also forget that this is something that you need to do. Even coaches will tell you that, okay, go and do this, and then you are doing just the exact opposite of what the coach just told you right now. So sometimes these things are needed, but I think there has to be a limit to how it happens.
Well, I hope Victor Osimhen, gets his footing right. Hopefully, can begin to score so that it reduces the pressure off him, and also, take it easy on his teammates, and also allow them to make decisions. I mean, we know you are the biggest name now. You want to score and all of that, but so are these guys as well. I mean, the likes of Akwa Adams are also like big names. Sevilla, Ademola Lookman plays for Atalanta. These are also like big guys out there. I don't think it's a good look to have you screaming at them like that. I know you want them to feed you the ball, but I mean, for me, sometimes it's always just too unnecessary sometimes, because as early as in 10th minutes, you're already screaming at a teammate for not putting a pass through to, even when that was what he was trying to do and all of that. So yeah, before we go to the last part of the show, what's your prediction for the Nigeria versus Tunisia game?
Nigeria to win 2-1.
You guys will not give me hypertension in the pitch side. All these 2-1 games, we that were pitch side were the ones that are always like suffering it. So before we round off and go off for this first episode of our special edition of the Gliders in Morocco, away from the Nigeria-Tanzania game, which game also stood out for you across the first round of games?
Difficult to pick, because every result that I've seen has been something that has been anticipated. Maybe I don't think there's been any shocking results. All the games that have been won is something that's been expected. But I think the most exciting one for me was yesterday when Cameroon played against Gabon. Yeah, it was really end to end. I mean, watching the game, we saw I mean, physicality is something that you need at the
It's
Afcon.
Africa.
That's why I asked. That's why when I asked
Guys,
Eric Chell about midfield issues, it's not about maybe trying.
not
It's
shading
something
this.
you will need. You at a point you need to.
Do you remember our conversation with Labi, our
Yeah,
driver, where he
exactly.
spoke about
Was
the
the
fact
fact
that
that
he prefers Mazraoui to Hakimi
because
at
of the
right back because of the
physicality.
physicality of African football.
And he
He
says that
said,
Amrabat is also not delivering in terms of that. He's physical, but
yeah,
he's not using his technical
yeah, his
abilities to
technical
get Morocco what they
abilities.
want.
So there's a lot when it comes to like African football, but yeah,
So for the game for me, I think yeah, Cameroon against Gabon
Gabon,
was very physical. Cameroon won the game eventually, and 1 goal to nil. I think Brandon Bemo was the man of the match. But end-to-end stuff from one attack to another. It's either Gabon attacking at this time, then Cameroon just from that attack are attacking, Cameroon
Gabon.
attacking, then Gabon is attacking. So
Crazy,
it was really,
crazy.
really end-to-end for me.
Brandon
And
Bemo.
although it did not provide so many goals, but I mean, watching the game was really interesting.
Okay. You said before we round up, you said you had a question to ask.
Yeah, it was just what you talked about. As a pitch-side photographer, how does it feel watching the game? Do you enjoy the games? And then aside enjoying the game itself, if you do or you don't, how does it feel watching it? Because I mean, even with our up at media center, we see. I know how much I was tensed. I watch football from home. Not like let me not say tensed, but I watch football from home, and I know how much I can see. Pass the ball now. Pass the ball now, watching from TV, then watching it live at the stadium, and you see this player doing something like this. How does it feel like for you?
I don't know. It just feels like
Especially in the cold.
yeah, like guys. Apart from the cold, it was raining, right? And the Nigeria Tanzania game, and you know, there's a lot. I have to like use nylon to cover my camera. Had to use nylon to like try to cover my system when we scored, and I was trying to export pictures. So there's a lot that goes in for the view. I mean, I wrote it on my Twitter today that I like to, when I cover games beachside, I like to go and rewatch it because there's the view from up is always like very nicer. I'm not saying quality wise, I'm saying like efficiency wise for you to be able to appreciate it more, right? When you're looking from the upper view that you guys are, you can see who is making a different run, who is doing this one, is this person offside or not. For me, it just feels like there are 22 men running in front of me, right? You can see a pass. You can see a pass, but you might not be able to appreciate the length of the pass. Like you might not know how far the pass was, how accurate it was, you know. So there's a lot that goes on. I mean, it's good to always see the players up close, but a lot of the time, because you're also a photographer, your eye is basically on your lens a lot of times. So you're not really watching the game.
Okay.
If the ball is at the feet of Alex, you're snapping Alex's foot and it's the picture. By the time it passes, you're following the ball to who is next. So except you just want to ball watch, you don't want to capture the actions. And then before you know, they might score and you just miss the action. So there's a lot that goes into like capturing like pitch side, and it's very exciting, but also like the view is like better from up. Just like you know, was it last month or 2 months ago where we saw that Luis Enrique, did you see the news that Enrique got an escalator or those
When he was training his players,
they wanted to see the view from up, so
yeah,
because definitely there are details that you see from up, like
yeah.
for example, I had to, when I was rewatching Alex's contributions, I got more hyped than I was when I was in pitch side.
Yeah.
Funny thing, I didn't even really realize I was one that assisted the first goal. I just saw everybody running towards me after we scored, and it was just really crazy. So yeah, very nice one. I think
well done to you guys.
Yeah,
I
think
being under that condition is really difficult.
Nah, guys,
training, where they beat you.
Guys, it's really cold in Fez.
Journalists
very,
are
very
trying.
cold, very, very cold. And
shout out to every journalist.
Yeah, shout out to every journalist. People are going through a lot to like bring content. So before we round up the show, I mean, you guys might be wondering why it's just me and Timothy recording an episode of the Gliders. That's because we came to this tournament with 8-man crew, you know, with the Gliders as well as the BETWGB crew. But currently we have 5 people on a journey to Agadir, and they probably just got there not too long ago. They were on an 11-hour train ride South Africa game, because that's also one very big game. And sadly, because of how far away Fez is from the rest of the cities that are hosting, we are not able to go often for different games, but this one is a very special one, and the crew decided that they need to record that. So it's just me, Timothy, and Joy that are currently left in the apartment. Joy is not available to film with us currently, so which is why it's just the two of us. So yes, I expect content from Agadir, while myself, Timothy, and Joy keep it locked down here in Fez for the Super Eagles game. Training continues, press conference ahead of Tunisia game, and the game itself happens on Saturday. We really hope you enjoyed this edition. This special edition is a much more relaxed version. You can see we're in our couch, we're not having microphones to our faces, we're not in suits, there's no gliders at the back of us, and then yeah, I mean we're pretty chill. We really hope you guys enjoy. Do drop comments, subscribe to this channel, you know, BETWGB TV. If you are yet to subscribe, you just know that we always have gist for you. I think I'm going to make this more frequent now that we can record with 2, 3, 4 people as much as is available, because guys, there's never a perfect time to record in a tournament because we are always busy. We're currently recording at 12:31 a.m. Yes, just to be able to bring this episode to your screens so it doesn't feel like we abandoned you guys, you know. We're here for you.
Exactly.
So, and yeah, so Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's true. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance to everybody. Compliments of the season. We hope you are enjoying your holidays, and you can use this episode to also chill and enjoy your holidays. Also, watch all of the other videos. You know, we're interviewing a couple of the players after games, covering training sessions, and there's more to come on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is Michael Adegbile, or you can call me Micolo. I've just done this alongside Timothy Dehinbo, and I bring you greetings from the rest of the crew as well on their trip to Agadir. So we come your way next time. You guys stay safe, enjoy, and continue to support the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yalla baby. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.